Special thanks to Kyvor, Mary McDowell, LW, Captain Luppy, Vox, Roach Zoch, Jorgen, The Reaver, Mahdi Navi, Gym Leader Goldie, Bryce Bassett, David Mason, Honor Higgins, Trash Gang, Seti, Big Wolf, Matt H. and Stuff, Undefined, Max Cross, and Paul Tholomew.
How did I get into this mess?
That's far enough. You can't run forever, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What? What have I done wrong?
I cannot allow you to go on like this.
But I'm just a simple defense attorney!
Silence! You are no longer worthy of your title.
I've had this dream before. Someplace, some time ago. As if this day was written into my destiny. Today I stand in court as a lawyer to prove a killer innocent. Hello? This is Phoenix Wright.
You don't look so well, dude. You're gonna prove me not guilty today, right?
If you please, Mr. Lawyer. Remember, it's not just me. Your precious friend's life is riding on today's verdict, too.
Now listen up! You'd better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag and not guilty, I'll never forgive you, ever!
Maya.
Phoenix! Phoenix!
Mia! Maya! How's Maya?
I don't know.
You don't know?
She hasn't tried to channel me since yesterday.
Mia, what am I supposed to do?
Well, like I said, for a lawyer, the worst times are when you have to force your biggest smiles.
But
you can't give up. There's still some hope left.
Stop it, please! There's nothing left. Not here, not anywhere. It's on guard again. You leave me alone? Look, don't call me anymore. I mean it.
You really mean, pal?
Gumshoe? I'm really, really sorry. Where are you?
They let me join the investigation team, and we're chasing after the killer, pal.
Then you have some sort of lead?
Sorry, but right now we got 0 leads on the guy. But we're not gonna give up.
Gumshoe.
Until the trial is over, until the verdict is handed down, we'll do everything we can and find the killer. If we can get Maya out, then you can get Engarde the guilty verdict he deserves, pal.
That's true. I could do that if they found Maya first.
You got that? So, you have to do whatever you can to make the trial last longer.
I have to make the trial last longer?
If you go with Mr. Edgeworth with everything you got, then you two can draw it out.
Oh, now I get it.
I believe in you, pal. You and Mr. Edgeworth can do it. So, believe in us. We're gonna give it all we've got, just like you.
Got it. Thanks, Gumshoe.
Hey, Phoenix. You understand now, don't you? You have something money will never be able to buy. Friendship. It's the strongest weapon in the world, and you have it in abundance.
Yeah. Looks like we're coming to the end. I have to make this trial last as long as I can. Gumshoe will come through, I know it!
Court is now in session for the trial of Engarde.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor.
Now, as I recall, we concluded yesterday's session with a big mystery on our hands. The mystery being, what exactly was Miss Adrian Andrews' role in this murder? That is to say, is she really connected to the crime itself? Mr. Edgeworth, if you would please inform the court of today's proceedings.
Adrian Andrews. She forged evidence that threw suspicion onto Mr. Engarde, and then she proceeded to escape the crime scene by wearing a Nicolle samurai costume. The guilt of these actions are those from which she cannot escape.
Then you are saying that she is guilty after all?
I'm not finished, Your Honor. Miss Andrews has nothing to do with committing the actual murder. I would like to direct the court's attention to this card.
What is that? It looks like a shell.
This is the calling card of a certain assassin.
An assassin, you say?
Yes, Juan Corrido was killed by a professional assassin. And the person who hired the assassin, his client, so to speak, is Matt Engarde.
What a surprising turn of events.
I would think it's become commonplace by now, Your Honor.
I know what's going on this time, so I know that everything Edgeworth has said is true.
But we still have to hold out for as long as we can. At least until Maya's safe and sound.
I wonder how the trial will turn out today.
Now then, please call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth.
The prosecution calls the defendant's mentor, Mr. Will Powers, to the stand. Now then, witness, your name and occupation, please.
Okay. I'm, Will Powers. I'm a poor, underpaid action star.
And what is your relation to the defendant?
Well, that's... I'm sort of a lousy mentor to him in a way, yeah.
Mr. Powers, please, you don't need to put yourself down so much.
Oh, sorry. Well, I'm just kind of a nothing sort of guy.
On the night of the murder, you visited the defendant's room. Is this correct?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
But you know, I didn't actually get to see Matt when I went.
All you need to do is answer what you're asked. Now then, I would like you to please testify about when you went to Mr. Engarde's room.
Okay, sure. After the award ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in the front of his room, still in his Nicolle samurai costume. He was talking with someone. At first, I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. I had guests with me that night, and I couldn't make them wait for me.
Nothing sounds out of place in Mr. Powers' testimony.
And talking with the bellboy is no big deal.
If one assumes that the person Mr. Engarde was speaking with was an ordinary bellboy.
What are you implying?
Well, Mr. Wright, let's have your cross-examination, shall we?
Looks like we're in another sticky situation.
Huh?
A trap! Can't you smell it, Phoenix? But, for us to find out more, we're just going to have to charge in head first, right?
Why did you go to the defendant's room?
Well, I'm his mentor. Like a big brother, sort of. And I wanted to say congrats and...
What's wrong? Why did you stop?
Mr. Wright!
What is it?
You're going to trick me into a corner, aren't you?
Huh?
I know I'm just a poor, underpaid action star, but I'm not the killer!
No one said you were, Mr. Powers.
No, please, don't trick me! Every time you do your lawyer thing, the witness suddenly turns into the bad guy.
Every time?
Witness, I will personally talk to the defense at a later time. So for now, please kindly cooperate.
Sorry.
So you went to the defendant's room. And then...
Hey, wait a minute! When and how did I suddenly turn into the bad guy here? And are you sure that it was Mr. Engarde you saw there?
Yes, I'm sure. He wasn't wearing the Nicolle Samurai mask then.
If that's the case, then he really can't be mistaken.
And the defendant was talking to someone you thought was a bellboy.
Well, he was in a bellboy-ish uniform, and he had a bottle of juice on a tray.
Sounds like an ordinary bellboy to me.
Yeah, but I didn't think he was a normal bellboy.
And why was that?
Why did I think that, Mr. Wright?
How am I supposed to know?
Sorry, but I can't remember right now. Sorry.
I guess I'm going to have to wait patiently on this one. You saw the two of them, the bellboy and the defendant, together, correct?
Yeah, the bellboy just wanted to say congrats.
Now, while you were watching the two of them, did you notice anything strange?
You know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip.
But that's a perfectly normal thing to do.
So, how long did you watch the two of them?
Not more than a minute or two, I think.
So, Mr. Engarde gave the bellboy a tip. What's so strange about that?
Oh, well, you see, Matt's not a poor penny pincher like me. I was trying to figure out how much it was because the tip really shocked me.
How much it was?
But that's when something even more surprising happened. The bellboy was putting the tip he got into his pockets. And that's when I got the first good look at his face. I was really shocked.
I'm afraid I don't follow at all.
What was so shocking about the bellboy's face, Mr. Powers?
Well, he wasn't exactly a boy. More like an old Gramps.
I hope you know that discrimination towards old men is a no-no in my court.
No, that's not what I meant. In the smack middle of the guy's face, there was a line of stitches.
A line of stitches?
Yeah. It went straight from the tippy top of his head to the bottom of his chin. Almost like if the thread snapped, all the stuff in his head would come spilling out.
Oh! He was there! At Engarde's house! He was that butler!
What is it, Mr. Wright?
Nothing, Your Honor. So that means Engarde was talking with Daykiller. If that fact were to be exposed, Engarde would be declared guilty in a blink!
Phoenix, you have to play dumb here. Pretend you don't know anything.
Yes, Chief.
Are you sure you don't have something you would like to say, Mr. Wright?
The defendant is a huge star. He can afford to give generous tips, wouldn't you agree?
Sure. But giving him that much was maybe a little too much, I think.
Would you please clarify for the court? About how much would you say the defendant gave the bellboy?
Honestly, I don't know. I can't even begin to guess.
And why is that?
Well, he gave the bellboy a really, really fat roll of cash.
A roll of cash?!
Well, how interesting. That certainly was a very generous tip, wasn't it?
A very fat roll of cash? That can hardly be called a tip, Your Honor.
The judge is beginning to look awfully suspicious of us. The defendant is a superstar. That kind of tip is typical fare for people like him.
Objection! Are you saying that all superstars are super spenders? If I could receive large rolls of cash by simply bringing things to people on trays, then why on earth would I stand around here prosecuting?
So, supposing that roll of cash was not a tip, then what was it?
Payment, Your Honor.
Payment?
Isn't it obvious? For the murder of Mr. Juan Corrida.
Then the bellboy the witness saw.
Yes, he was the assassin!
Hold your horses now. Mr. Edgeworth, you don't have any proof of this, do you?
Have I ever been unprepared to support my claims, Your Honor? I have here the card Shelley DeKiller left at the scene of the crime.
Shelley D. Killer?
He is the person the police's special investigations team has been chasing for ages. I am certain that the person the witness saw was this very assassin, Shelley the Killer.
Really?
What's wrong, Mr. Powers?
No, nothing. Something just clicked in my head, and I think I just figured something out.
Oh?
Actually, I saw that bellboy again later on that night.
What?
Mr. Powers, please testify. Tell us what you saw.
Yes, sir, right away. This time I was in that hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. And that's when the bellboy I saw earlier came out of the room. Of course, when I say room, I mean one corridor's room. Now that I think about it, that bellboy did seem kind of out of place. So he had to be the assassin, I'm sure of it. I mean—
Thank you very much. That is all we need for now.
Huh? But I'm not done. There's still more.
Let us first establish that the bellboy was truly Mr. the Killer. Then we shall see.
So the bellboy came out of the victim's room, and if that bellboy really was the assassin, then I think the answer is fairly obvious.
That would be correct, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it's your turn to entertain and make us laugh.
Ha ha ha!
This is no laughing matter.
What time did this happen?
Well, I don't remember. The award ceremony ended around 8 p.m., right? And I went to Matt's room pretty soon after that. And then I came back, and then I went to the bathroom. So I guess maybe it was around 8:10 p.m. by that time?
You are not one for details, are you, Mr. Powers?
Sorry, I thought I could maybe catch Matt and say my congrats.
Are you sure it was the same bellboy?
Yeah.
And how could you tell? All the bellboys wear the same uniform after all.
But, you see, well, he had those stitches in his face.
No!
So I'm sure it's the same guy that was talking with Matt.
And he came out of the victim's room?
Yeah, the one with all the really pretty flowers and teddy bears. It was Juan's room, alright.
Words cannot describe how screwed I am. What exactly was so out of place about the bellboy?
Right. Why the insipid grin?
Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's going to say next?
Well, the bellboy was empty-handed.
Empty-handed?
The bellboy was one of those room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart, and he wasn't holding a tray either. You'd call that a little strange too, wouldn't you?
I agree. That is a bit strange, Mr. Powers.
There is nothing strange or unusual about an empty-handed bellboy.
But there really is!
There really isn't.
Objection! If you two are done being school children, bellboys are for room service. There is no reason for them to be empty-handed, ever.
Objection! Mr. Powers!
Yes?
You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? As soon as you heard that the bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing it must be true.
But, isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches and...
So? A baseball has stitches? Are you saying all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches?
Well, there's also, what about him being empty-handed?
I would like to ask the court to please take a look here.
This is the crime scene.
There is a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Corrida's body. The liquid inside this glass is tomato juice. And now, if you would look at what is on top of the table in the lower right corner here, anyone can clearly see that it is a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Corrida's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left.
But that would mean a bellboy had seen and left a dead body in the room.
Ah, but can you prove that Mr. Corrida was already dead at that time?
Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes?
I blame you for leading me down this route.
I'm terribly sorry.
What is with him? Why is he laughing?
Witness, isn't there one more thing you would like to share with us?
Is there?
The bellboy was empty-handed. Or should I say, empty-handed. I recall you had something interesting to say about his hands.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot.
Huh? What?
The bellboy, he was wearing gloves.
Gloves?
Yeah, pitch black leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right?
Black leather gloves? Why didn't you mention them earlier?
Sorry, it slipped my mind.
Oh, boy, does this make the bellboy look really suspicious. All right, got to focus. I can't get lax here. So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves.
Come on, Mr. Wright. That bellboy was wearing black leather ones.
So, a football is made of leather? Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they are made of leather?
But that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant, and then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe that he was just another bellboy.
It seems that we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony.
The rest?
Oh yes, please tell us more.
Okay. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door just like that. He gave something to the person inside the room. Then the old guy just left, without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat.
The bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, next went to the defendant's room?
Yeah, I kinda saw all that by accident.
Some accident? I'd say you saw too much. And all of it was suspicious to high heaven.
I think it's safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Now then, let's get started, shall we? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Is that what you really saw while you were busy spying?
Excuse me? I may be a poor, underpaid action star, but even I wouldn't stoop to spying.
Well, I think the point is, where did you watch all this from, Mr. Powers?
Oh, from the bathroom with my left eye in a sort of sneaky spy-like.
I knew he was spying.
Please, does it really matter if he was doing it over or underhandedly? All I care to know is more about what the bellboy did next.
He gave something to someone in the defendant's room. So who took this something the bellboy handed off?
Actually, I don't know.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry, I only saw the person's arm.
Only an arm?
Then you're saying you didn't see the person's face?
Yeah.
Well, it was Mr. Engarde's room, correct? So it could have only been Mr. Engarde himself, I'd say.
He gave something to this person.
Yeah.
And what was this something?
If I remember what it was, I wouldn't be calling it a something, would I?
But this implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers?
I think it was something kind of small.
This is an incredibly crucial piece of information. Please try to remember what it was.
I'll try.
I would like to summarize the testimony up to this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There, he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. As for the person who received the item, all you could see was the person's arm.
Yes, it was just like that.
Mr. Edgeworth, is all this really that important?
Of course, Your Honor. I think this is of the utmost importance. This is when whatever was removed from the crime scene was handed over to the client.
Mr. Powers, please try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off.
Well, let's see. I think it was... No. If I saw it again, I could say for sure. But I think it's some sort of wooden statue.
Objection!
What was the point of that pregnant pause?
Where did that objection come from? Well, speak up!
It was me, Your Honor.
What is it, Phoenix?
I have a feeling that something bad is going to happen once I show this.
Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Powers, the something you saw, was it this item?
Oh, hey! That's it! That's the something! Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out.
I recall we found this at Matt Engarde's mansion.
At the defendant's house? What does this mean?
It's simple, Your Honor. Shelley DeKiller assassinated one Corrida in his room, and then he stole the wooden bear from the crime scene.
Then the bear being found at Mr. Engarde's mansion would mean...
It goes without saying, Your Honor. Mr. Matt Engarde is DeKiller's client.
Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, this is a most unfortunate turn of events for you.
Yeah. Sorry, Mia.
No, it's all right. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. If not now, then it would have later on. Even if you hadn't shown the court, I'm sure your friend Edgeworth would have.
Oh, I almost forgot that he knew about it too!
I think it is clear that there is no need for us to continue this trial.
I can't let this happen! I have to do something. There has to be something we've overlooked. Your Honor, a minute, please.
Yes, Mr. Wright?
There are still a few points left that we have not fully explored.
What are you trying to pull?
Oh, well, we can't have that. All right, Mr. Wright. What questionable point would you like to explore further?
Mr. Powers' testimony, of course.
Huh? I know my testimony was a bit shaky, but...
Objection! Your inanity stupefies me, Mr. Wright. We already clarified all questionable points during the cross-examination just now. Wasting time like this, calling the testimony questionable. I'd say it's your head that's questionable here.
Yes, I agree. The cross-examination went very smoothly, and there was nothing wrong with the testimony. Now then, I believe...
Hold it! Please, wait!
You are being very persistent today, aren't you?
Because I can't let it end like this. I know my outburst just now was a little... questionable.
Questionable indeed.
But there really are some questionable points left to discuss, Your Honor. There is one thing in Mr. Powers' testimony that was very unclear, and that is the identity of the person who received the bear. As long as we don't know who it was who took the bear, we can't be sure of... Huh?
What is it, Mr. Powers? If you're going to scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why.
Oh yeah, sorry, actually... So I remembered who took the bear.
What?
Really?
I mean, I only saw his arm, but the arm. It was the Nicolle Samurai's arm. I swear it.
You've got to be kidding!
Are you sure of that, Mr. Powers?
Yeah, I'm sure it was the Nicolle Samurai.
Looks like you've dug your own grave. Yet again.
How many times is that today? I've lost count.
So the person who took this little bear was the Nicolle Samurai. And as we all know, Matt Engarde is the Nicolle Samurai.
Thanks to the defense, we've made that all the clearer.
Wait! I think it's very obvious that the bear itself is very questionable.
The bear, Mr. Wright?
This was found at Mr. Engarde's mansion. However, Mr. Engarde was arrested at the hotel that night, which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had the chance to go home.
Ooh.
I think Your Honor has already figured out what I am trying to say. It is not possible that it was Mr. Engarde who took this bear to his mansion!
Why, that is very true. We didn't consider that point, Mr. Wright. There was no way, time-wise, for the defendant to have taken this bear home.
Phew. Disaster averted, it looks.
Objection!
You haven't gotten the best of me yet, Mr. Wright.
Huh?
I remember it clear as day. I remember what you muttered to yourself at Engarde's mansion. We have this area completely surrounded. There is no way for him to escape, assuming he is still in the area.
I can't believe it! That butler! All this time he was DeKiller!
DeKiller and Engarde were working together, so to speak. And DeKiller was hiding at Engarde Mansion as its butler.
What a bold move.
The bear figurine was brought back to Engarde Mansion by DeKiller himself. When it looked like he was about to be arrested, Engarde had him do so. I assume because it would have been bad had the police found it during their investigation. Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for a while now.
This is too much. Isn't there anything I can attack at all?
I think we've heard enough. We now know why this bear figurine was at the defendant's mansion, as well as who it was that received the bear from the assassin in his room. Everything has become very clear. The client who hired the assassin to commit the murder was Mr. Matt Engarde. I see no reason for this trial to continue. Therefore, I will now hand down my verdict.
Thank you, Your Honor, for your understanding. You see, Mr. Wright, you could not win against the truth, could you?
Oh, I knew it would turn out this way. After all, what Edgeworth has stated is the truth.
Any last objections, Mr. Wright?
Well, do I? What should I do?
I will now announce my verdict.
Hold it! There is only one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I have left is this one dirty trick. Your Honor, right now we have these two reasons to believe my client is a client of the assassin. Reason number one, he accepted the bear figurine from the assassin. Reason number two, the very same figurine was found at Engarde Mansion. However, it's possible this is all the work of a certain other person.
What are you saying?
What I am saying is, it's possible a different person is DeKiller's real client.
The real client?
Yes.
Is this all you have?
Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Who do you say is the real client of DeKiller, and therefore the real murderer?
None other than Miss Adrian Andrews.
Adrian Andrews!
Yes. We already know that she tried to frame Matt Engarde for the crime by wearing a spare Nicolle Samurai costume.
Then the Nicolle Samurai's arm that I saw?
That could have very well been Miss Andrews.
what about Mr. Engarde?
If you could please recall yesterday's testimony. The defendant was taking a nap during the break period.
That's right. Then, finding this figure at Mr. Engarde's mansion.
It was a well-laid trap set by Miss Andrews.
Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this?
I can't even begin to count the flaws in the defense's logic. Besides which, there is no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either.
What's with this case? Come on! Anyone can tell that Engarde did it!
I can't believe the defense would go so far as to pin the guilt onto someone else.
Yeah, unbelievable! It's not something petty, it's murder of all things!
This is to save Maya. This is to save Maya. Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I cannot give up on.
Order! 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 All disruptive parties will be forced to leave the courtroom.
Your Honor, for the benefit of the defense, I'm willing to play along with his what-if game.
His what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth?
The prosecution is prepared to challenge the defense's theory. Mr. Wright, even you must have thought it strange and wondered, why would the criminal want this little wooden bear?
He's right. The killer did specially bring the bear to Engarde right away. Why do you ask? Is there something special about it?
Absolutely. And I'm sure that once the court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Your Honor, the prosecution calls upon a witness who will clear all doubts against Miss Andrews.
And who would that be?
It's quite simple, Your Honor. Miss Adrian Andrews herself.
I see. Well then, the court will take a short 10-minute recess. The prosecution will prepare its witness in that time.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, I knew it was a good idea to hold her hostage. Don't you agree, Mr. Lawyer? But I never thought in your desperation you'd try to pin the guilt onto Adrian.
Oh, I swear this demon will pay.
Mr. Nick!
Pearls? Where's Mia?
I don't know. A really strong power suddenly called her away.
A really strong power?
Oh, Mr. Nick! Your phone is...
It's from Gumshoe.
How's it going? Have you been hanging in there, pal?
Yeah, sort of. We just barely found something to latch onto.
Oh, that's good, pal.
And what about you? Anything yet? Have you figured out where Day Killer and Maya are?
We still don't have any leads, but...
What? We don't have any more time!
If we just had one, even a single clue would be really helpful.
I was only able to come this far because I kept thinking to myself, I've got to keep this trial going until Maya's been rescued. But if I just run out of luck this time? Is all our hope for naught?
A tent!
Huh? A tent?
I could see a circus tent!
Maya!
It looks like Maya was unconscious until just a few minutes ago. As soon as she woke up, she called for me.
So it was Maya that called you away?
She's locked in a dusty little room right now, but I could see a circus tent outside the window about 300 feet away.
Gumshoe, is there a circus in town right now?
There's only one, pal. The very big circus.
Maya is somewhere within a 300 feet radius of the main tent.
What? Okay, hold on a sec, pal. Hey, draw a circle on that map. About a 300 feet radius from the main tent. Hurry!
And?
And?
I could see a mailbox outside the window.
Gumshoe, there's also a mailbox.
Okay, what else?
What else, Mia?
I'm sorry, but it was a very small window. I couldn't see anything else. It felt like it was an old office building, maybe on the 3rd floor or so.
An old office building. Good stuff, pal. Okay, just hang in there. Just a little longer, pal. Wish us luck.
Good luck.
I'll call you later, so don't let your battery die. Okay, pal?
Mia, Maya's not hurt, right?
She's in a pretty bad state, Phoenix. She's being starved.
Gumshoe, please hurry.
Looks like we're out of time. Are you alright, Phoenix?
It's only a matter of time before Maya's rescued. I can do this. I just have to make this trial last a little longer.
Court will now reconvene.
De Killer, the man who murdered the victim, handed this to his client. From this, one obvious question arises. Why this particular item? I believe the answer to that question will provide us with the name of the real criminal. Now then, the prosecution calls the defendant's manager, Adrian Andrews, to the stand. Currently, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you have been called to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder.
I understand.
Very good. Now, have you ever seen this bear before, Miss Andrews?
Of course I have.
You have seen it before.
That's right. It's only natural that the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten the court to this bear's secrets?
All right.
Why? Why does she?
Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. At its center is a small cavity, with just enough room to store a small item. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. You really can't tell that it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it.
So, this figurine, it's a container of sorts, is it?
Yes. Looks can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I see. This is superb craftsmanship. Oh, yes, I nearly forgot. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
It looks like there really was something to that bear after all.
So this figurine is a puzzle?
That's right.
But it looks like an ordinary figurine.
And you can take it apart? And how would one go about doing that?
Well, you first turn its tail to the right, and then push it in.
Oh, yes, I see.
After that, the arms and legs are free to move, and can be removed.
Oh, that is most interesting.
A boy and his new toy. It's like he's 5 all over again.
Oh, don't mind me. Go ahead and carry on.
I think he's lost it. How do you know about this bear's features?
I know because I was the one who bought it. It was a souvenir from when a friend and I went to Switzerland.
Then this was a present from you.
That's right. It was a puzzle in the shape of a bear, so I thought it would be perfect for Juan.
So who exactly knew how to solve this puzzle?
Only the two of us, Juan and myself. It was a souvenir from Switzerland, so I doubt that there are that many people with this same bear in this country.
But this looks like it could be easily broken, especially if someone wanted to get what was inside.
Well, it's a toy, but it can never be the same again once it's been broken.
Who else knows that this bear is actually a small container or jewelry box?
I never told anyone. And as long as Juan never told anyone either, then only the two of us knew.
The two of you, huh? Then of course that means Mr. Engarde didn't know, right? I think this is all I'm going to get for now.
Well, Mr. Wright, I think even you have come to realize.
What?
That there is one very important fact we have uncovered, and that is this. This bear is actually a jewelry box. Now that we have agreed to this point, there is only one logical question that can come next, and that is this. What is inside this box?
What's inside?
That's right. That's what we're going to find out next. Witness?
Yes?
You are the only one who can open this. Please.
There's a painful silence hanging over the courtroom. All eyes are on Miss Andrews now as she solves the puzzle and takes the bear apart.
I've opened it. Is this what you wanted?
What is that? It looks like a note.
I don't think we need to guess at what that is. Do we, Mr. Wright? It's the suicide note.
The suicide note?
The suicide note left by Juan Corrida's former manager, Celeste Impax. Until now, no one knew of its whereabouts. But just as we suspected, it was hidden. Hidden by the victim, Juan Corrida himself. It seems Celeste Impax had very beautiful handwriting, and she just as beautifully signed her own name on this document. This is most definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide.
Order! Order! Witness, did you know about this?
Yes, I did. I heard all about it from Juan. When I discovered his body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it became public, but I couldn't find it anywhere.
Because it had already been taken by Nicolle.
Everything's going at Mr. Edgeworth's pace. So, now that the suicide note has been found, what's the next logical question?
What is written on the note?
That's right. At least that's what I would think.
Now then, I believe it is only appropriate that the contents of this note be made known.
I can't stop you, can I? I went through so much just to get my hands on it. I was going to burn it. For her sake.
I'm deeply sorry, but I can't allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honor, if you could please read the contents of this note aloud.
Very well.
The judge's voice rang loud and clear through the dead silent courtroom. In her note, Celeste Impax left to us a record of all that had happened to her. About being used and then thrown away by Engarde. About being engaged to Corrida and Engarde's role in destroying that. And about how she decided, in her despair, to end it all.
And that is all Miss Impax had to say.
There is one thing I would like to say here. The prosecution has no interest in slandering Mr. Engarde.
Then what?
Our intention, Your Honor, is to establish a motive for murder. Isn't that correct, witness?
Yes. On the night of the murder, Juan was going to make the contents of the note public. After the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference.
My word.
Matt Engarde values above all else his refreshing, like a spring breeze image, which is why he had to stop this note from being made public. At any cost.
It's Engarde's fault that woman killed herself.
And this time, he even went so far as to kill someone to stop him from revealing that.
Oh, how terrible! What a selfish person!
I guess there are slimeball lawyers out there who will defend these creeps too.
There's no margin for doubt here. Mr. Nicolle's client's goal was to obtain this suicide note. And the only person who needed this note that badly is the defendant. Let's not forget that the bear with the note inside was found at the defendant's house.
It seems that we have come to the truth at last. The defendant's motives were entirely selfish. He deserves no sympathy from anyone.
How am I supposed to escape from this one?
Why the hesitation, Phoenix? Gumshoe hasn't called yet, so you know what you must do.
I know. I have to carry on and buy him some more time. Okay. There are two deadly pieces of evidence. The figurine and the suicide note. Maybe somehow I can find a way out of this situation through one of those.
The gavel is already in the judge's hand. Phoenix, hurry!
Please, wait, Your Honor!
Oh man, look at that lawyer.
He's still going at it?
It's like he doesn't care that he's trying to get a killer off the hook.
I think Your Honor believes that Matt Engarde killed in order to obtain this note.
Yes, that is correct.
But that seems a little strange. In fact, I think there is a contradiction here. This note was hidden by Mr. Corrida until the night of the murder. If that is the case, I say that Matt Engarde could not have known what was written on this note!
Oh, I didn't think of it that way.
Exactly, but I did think of it that way, and I thought it was rather strange. No one in their right mind would kill for a note without first knowing what it said.
Order! You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion?
It was just a flash, but I think I did rather well on this one.
Unfortunately, I think he believes differently.
I believe a show of appreciation is in order.
Huh?
The defense seems to be in love with wishing more despair upon itself. I would like to direct the court's attention to this.
What is that?
It is a very small video camera, Your Honor. This type of camera is commonly used as a means of spying.
Spying?
What the? I thought that spy camera was in my possession!
Matt Engarde and the victim both thought of each other as their biggest rival. They even went so far as to use this type of item to find each other's weaknesses.
And?
The victim, Juan Corrida, was being spied on. His personal life was being spied on by none other than Matt Engarde.
Order! Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor?
You don't tell me you knew of your client's spying activities.
Well, sort of.
Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright.
I see you are confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking, but I have the camera that was in the stuffed bear's eye. But this camera that I have is not the same one. Last night, I searched the victim's house on a hunch, using this.
Gumshoe's bug sweeper.
By the way, Mr. Wright, the defendant's fingerprints were found on this camera.
Matt Engarde's fingerprints were on there?
Well, Phoenix, it looks like those cameras were hidden all over the place, huh?
What am I supposed to say to that evidence?
I think this is the end. It's fairly obvious that Mr. Engarde learned of the suicide note through this. He was watching the victim all along.
You got me good this time! I don't have anything to counter that!
Hey, now what's that lawyer thinking?
Mommy, is that man the bad killer guy?
Shh! Stop! Don't look at him! The way he's sweating is just so... ew! Nasty!
Phoenix?
Yes, Chief?
Have you figured out what you're going to do next?
What I'm going to do next? Does running away like a frightened child work?
I know it seems like Edgeworth is very close to putting the lid on this case. But, in his eagerness to prove his point, he forgot one very important thing.
Well, what is it, Mia?
There's a piece of evidence he should really investigate.
Something he should investigate?
I would really hate to see a good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into something like that bear figurine when he had the chance.
All right. I think this time we finally understand everything. Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections, do you?
I have an objection, Your Honor.
That was about the weakest objection I've ever heard, Mr. Wright.
Objection! Your Honor, the defense has no intention of letting this go so easily.
Why am I not surprised? You are beginning to sound desperate.
That's just your imagination, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, this is not like you at all. in your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing.
Hey, isn't that what I just said?
So you're telling me that I forgot something?
You're so close, Mr. Edgeworth. But there's something you should really examine about this piece of evidence.
That is Miss Impax's suicide note, right?
Who knows? I mean, sure, this suicide note was found inside this bear. But this bear was in my possession until a few moments ago. Which means the handwriting on this suicide note has yet to be analyzed.
Oh.
So, as to whether this pivotal piece of evidence was really written by Miss Impax or not, has yet to be even remotely confirmed.
Mr. Wright, you can't seriously be suggesting...
Mr. Wright, are you saying this suicide note is a fake?
Miss Andrews, you were the one who tried to pin this murder on Mr. Engarde. Who's to say you didn't create a fake suicide note and put it into this bear?
How dare you!
Objection! Your Honor, the defense is indiscriminately accusing the witness again. There is no evidence linking the witness to the suicide note whatsoever.
Objection! But if this is a fake, then the witness is the only person who could have made it.
What?
Recall the witness's testimony concerning this figurine. The only person other than the victim who could solve the puzzle is the witness herself. Miss Andrews, you wrote this note, didn't you? You wrote it so you could use it to frame Matt Engarde.
I did no such thing.
Objection! Right, if you're going to pronounce this suicide note a fake, then show the court some evidence to support your theory.
Objection! Mr. Edgeworth, you were the one who presented this scrap of paper as evidence. That means the burden of proof lies with you, the prosecution.
That's enough. Mr. Edgeworth, can you confirm the handwriting on this suicide note?
It is as the defense has stated. The handwriting has yet to be analyzed.
If that's the case, it seems that yet again, we have reached a point where a verdict is impossible.
That's impossible!
This isn't good, Phoenix.
The judge is going to carry this trial over one more day. I don't think Maya will physically be able to make it another day.
I did not want to have to do this, but I have no choice. I request that both the prosecution and defense further investigate.
Handwriting analysis, my butt! That's just the lawyer trying to buy more time!
Engarde is guilty. Look, any idiot can tell you that.
I think we've reached the end of the line.
Guilty! 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 Guilty!
What is that sound?
It's Gumshoe! Hello? Gumshoe! Where's Maya? What happened? Did they kill her?
Yeah, he got away.
What?
I'm sorry, pal. I really am. I don't know what to say besides I'm sorry. I wish there was some way to make it up to you. I really do.
Anyway, what's going on?
We found his hideout, pal, but the two of them were already gone.
This is terrible.
I'm gonna keep looking for him, pal. Don't you worry. I just need a little more time.
But...
Don't tell me we don't have any more.
Guilty! 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 Guilty!
Do you hear that? They're calling for his head.
Mr. Wright, I can't. For us to come this far, Oh!
What is it?
Let me talk to Mr. Edgeworth.
I can't do that.
Order! Mr. Wright, can you please get a hold of yourself? Bailiff!
Edward, catch! Take that!
Mr. Edgeworth! my ass some more time.
Court is in session. I'm sorry, Your Honor. You were saying?
I am reluctant to do this. However, it appears that I have no choice but to suspend proceedings until tomorrow.
This time, I really can't do anything.
Court is now adjourned for the day.
Objection! Please wait, Your Honor.
Edgeworth?
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
I humbly request another 30 minutes of Your Honor's time.
For what purpose?
We can perform the necessary tests on this piece of evidence in that time.
But can you really obtain your results in 30 minutes?
I believe we can, Your Honor.
But wouldn't it be better if we adjourned for today and then reconvene tomorrow?
30 minutes. Please, Your Honor. That's all I'm asking for.
Please, Your Honor!
Very well. At the prosecution's request, this court will now take a 30-minute recess. But be advised, I will not allow another recess today.
I'm not sure if this is helping or hurting us.
The court will now take its final recess of the day.
Right. Well, what's going on with Miss Faye's situation?
The killer. Looks like he got away again. 30 minutes. You can't find her in that time.
Report!
Is that Mr. Edgeworth?
We don't have time, just spit it out.
Right. It looks like we just missed him, sir. But the killer left a few things behind by accident in his rush to get away.
A few things.
Can we use any of them as evidence?
I thought you'd ask, pal. I've got the things he left with me right now, and I'm on my way over.
Really?
That's odd. Any items like that are usually sent to the crime lab first.
We don't have time to wait for those guys, sir. When those guys weren't looking, I swiped their stuff and ran.
What?
Well, I'm not a detective anymore, so I have to. I'm really sorry, sir, but I've got to put the law on hold for now.
Sounds bad. I hope he doesn't get in too much trouble over this.
With my unconjunct car, I'd say I'll be there in about 20 minutes, sir. Don't worry, I'll be there. Wait for me.
All right, just get here in one piece.
I'm on a mission and no one can stop me now, sir. No one. I'm pulling out all the stops and running every red light.
Items left by the murderer, huh? Maybe there's something among them that will be decisive enough to end this.
Hello? What's wrong? Detective Gumshoe, answer me!
No one can stop.
What happened?
It sounded like he had an accident. I'm guessing his cell phone broke as well.
What was he thinking? We've got to hurry and call for help.
But we have no idea where he is. His cell phone is broken and he wasn't driving a patrol car, so no radio either. Also, if we don't get to those items before they do, the police will take possession of them.
No! We can't let that happen!
Well, if there's a way we can find out where he is, then we stand a chance.
Wait! There is a way.
What? How?
Franziska! Ask Franziska!
Why are you bringing up Franziska at a time like... Oh, I see. I'll try to get in contact with her. Chances are slim, but she's all we have.
Franziska! Will she even want to help us? Edgeworth.
What is it?
I don't have any right to judge anyone ever again. I know my client is guilty, but what I'm doing now, I'm pinning the guilt onto someone totally innocent and using the evidence to do so. It might be my turn to say, Defense Attorney Phoenix Wright chooses death.
Right. It doesn't suit someone like you to cry useless tears. Whether you did your job well or not, that can only be seen after the verdict has been decided.
The verdict?
Is Prosecutor Edgeworth here?
Yes, Bailiff.
There's a phone call for you, sir. They said it was extremely urgent.
They're probably finished with the handwriting analysis. I have to go take this call. In the meantime, think hard about what it is you must do.